Yeah, welcome once more our great guest to this our Thursday tonic. We like to we're missing you. I don't know whether you listened to our last episode, but today we have something the young people say is striking, something that is striking, something very interesting, something great, something that is current, and we want to discuss it today. It's current, it's important, and we need your attention. I have with me in the studio very popular, regular guest to this program, if you know what I mean. By my immediate right is Adeshua Atelo. She is an experimental psychologist and a lecturer in the Department of Psychology, Nanasgo University. Atelo, please welcome our guest.
Welcome, guests, to this program. We are very happy to have you here. Welcome.
Yes, by my immediate left is the media guru. Many of you know and call him Echo. His real name, you may not know, his real name is Michael Lugokwe. He's our man here, and he has accepted to be part of the program today. Echo, welcome our listeners.
Thank you very much, Prof. It's good to be here, and it's home actually. So I'm home.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And thank you out there for joining us today. And what we want to discuss today, dating. Like I said, it's contemporary, it's important, and it catches your attention. Dating. Some people say chiking. You want to chike a lady, you want to chike a man. That's what young people call it. I learned of that very newly.
Yeah, correct.
Or have you heard about this chiking at this show? Have you heard about it?
It's an old term actually. I want to check somebody.
Maybe I'm not current. I thought it's a new development.
No.
So, why do we want to discuss this thing called dating? And what is it about to date? If you are dating someone, many people will think that you go out there, this is somebody you hope, in the traditional way, somebody you want to check with this person whether you are likely to become husband and wife. He's a member of the opposite gender, is of marriageable age, and so on and so forth. So you meet each other and you are discussing, checking each other to see whether your personality, your ideas, and so on will agree so that you get married. So that's the whole idea of dating, or the traditional idea of dating. But let's look at it today, how young people are doing it. I learned something they say, some people unmarried, no formal relationship, living together, the man acting as a guy, the woman acting as a madam of the house, washing the man's dresses, everything, cooking for the man looking for the money, both of them bringing money for their stay, but no formal contact. The parents are not aware, no information, they're just living together. Echo, what do you think? Have you had something like that?
Yes,
Please share your experience.
definitely. It's now more like if I would like to say it's a norm now because a lot of people do it and it's totally wrong. That's why we have programs like this to educate people and enlighten them. Now, I know about a particular couple. Well, I say it's not a couple actually, but they stay together. So that's why I said couple. They stay together. They've been together for a while, and the parents don't even know. In fact, at a point, I really heard that the lady was pregnant for him for like once or twice, and she removed the baby. But the striking thing about this was that the guy was always beating her. The guy was always beating her every single time.
Look at
And just look at that. I mean, it's a very sad one. And people do it a lot. Young ones, they do it a lot. They're not married, but they stay together. They do everything married people do. So, and I'm wondering, when you now get married, what would you now be doing?
This is terrible. Oh, this is modern Sodom and Gomorrah. They said that the lady has gotten pregnant twice and removed,
Yes.
killed human being, killed a spirit that is about to come to the earth. The guilt is upon her, I tell you. Adeshua, did you hear what he said? Have you heard it around you?
Yes, I did, Prof. It's, as he said, it's quite rampant in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And not just Nigeria. I think it's a Western thing that has filtered down to this part of the world. Because you see overseas now, due to the high rate of divorce, a lot of young people over there are, becoming reluctant to get married and living in together as husband and wife or as couple without any formal thing to show that they are married. And Nigerians, due to the fact that we copy a lot, we have copied that one too, because societally it's not part of our culture or our way of life in Nigeria. So yes, I have seen it happen a lot of times. And even when I was even a student, a neighbor of mine that was the same a law student. He was a law student, and the lady was from another university, coming and staying for weeks, even as a student.
Missing her lectures?
Missing her lectures. But the thing about that one is that her own family knew about it. And they told her she should hold on to him, that he will soon be a prominent man.
So, without any formal engagement.
No formal engagement.
What a family.
It's to show you that there are a lot of things going wrong in society. And our young people are being exposed to a lot of dangerous situations. This man was also physically abusing her. At night, you will hear him punching and she will be screaming.
Terrible.
And we will go and we'll be knocking. I ask people around, why are they not doing anything about it? They say, oh, they are used to it. Because I just moved in there. And one day I intervened and he came out and warned me that if I should come again, and I told him I will involve the university security. That was when he backed down. So this is something very rampant. And a lot of young ladies might lose their lives in the process. They might lose their lives. And when you ask them, why don't you run away? Why don't you leave? They say, where are they going to? So it looks like a very dire situation we really need to look into and prefer or offer some suggestions that can help people come out of such issues in the dating life, in their dating life.
Prof, I also want to add something to this. You know that a lot of ladies don't understand that when a man hasn't done anything on your head and you're staying together with him, your value depreciates
to zero.
That's minus one, if there's anything like that. Because, I mean, he doesn't value you anymore. To him, you're just like any other girl that you can pick up from somewhere and keep her at home. So what prevents you from doing that same thing to another person? You understand? And, that's what I talked about. Some of them might lose their lives in the process. There was this particular story online where a guy, killed the girlfriend, kept the body, and it was only when the girlfriend's mom came around to actually disturb and say, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? That was when they actually searched the house and then found the corpse of the lady in the guy's house.
Terrible.
And prior to that, just like Anessa was saying, the girl had been enduring beatings from the guy. Now, information had it that when the guy beats her, he will buy her a vehicle. And when I say beating, like beating her to the stupor, to the extent of breaking her bones, he will buy her a vehicle. She will still stay in the relationship. They will have issue again. The guy beat her to stupor until this finally happened. And then when I asked the guy said that he mistakenly stabbed her.
Stabbed. Terrible. Terrible.
So that's it.
You listening to us out there, please pay attention and take this to your family, to your wards. Watch what they are doing. Where are they? Visit them on campus. Check what they are doing. Stay 2 nights, 3 nights. Watch who calls them, who visits. This is very important. Let's go back to this. What do you think is really responsible for this? You said something echo as we were speaking, Mike. You said each time that man, dealt, I use the word dealt, because I can't use the word you used. I mean, it's so strong. And then he will go and buy a vehicle for the girl. So the girl will equate her life with a vehicle. That's terrible. What is responsible for this? Do you have an idea?
A lot of issues, actually. Just like Alessio said, she talked about the influence of the Western culture in Africa and Nigeria as case study. Then there's issue of the society as it is. Society has somehow made it that a man should take care of a woman, and so some ladies have that mindset that they have to be getting from the man. And then because of that, when they're getting from the man, they don't mind whatever the man is doing to them, as long as they're benefiting something for the man in terms of finance. And then another thing is, some of them come from very poor places, poor backgrounds, poor, they don't have anything. They look up to this man to take care of them. A lot of them are in universities, is a man that's training them. A lot of them are doing businesses, is a man that's training them. So most times you see that they depend entirely on this man. And because of that, they feel that if they don't have this man, they are going nowhere. They won't be able to make headway. So some of those things are some of those factors. And then you have this issue of people trying to claim or belong per se, in the sense that I have a man. My friends have all, they all have a man. So I should also have a man. No matter how the man is manning me. You understand? I should have a man so that I'll belong. So that when I'm talking about people that have men or have relationship, I can be able to say something that, I mean, it's crazy.
Terrible. And that's why you're a psychologist. He has said something about economic motivation. Some of these ladies are expecting or are getting some form of financial reward. And you know that some of them are from very poor economic background and so on. Do you think that financial inducement is sufficient to be, a major factor, or are there other factors as a psychologist you think that may be motivating this type of behavior?
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Yes, financial factors, the financial aspect or part of a person's life is critical. For me, I think one of the major things that pushes a lot of women into this kind of relationship is personal finance. Many of them do come from very poor backgrounds, or some of them, they may not even come from poor backgrounds, may envy and want to be like others in society. If you look at the social media, you see that many of our celebrities, they promote this kind of lifestyle, living false lifestyle, extravagant lifestyle. So many females, many ladies want to feel among this peer pressure to belong, and this pushes them into such kind of relationship. But this is not the only reason. Another major reason why people get into such relationships is due to breakdown in family values and good societal values. You find out that sometimes where people come from, the kind of values they have, they may be influenced by even their parents to, or the way their parents behave or propel. You find that many families now don't question their children. Where did you get this money from? What are you doing? What is your source of income? They just accept it. Your daughter comes and gives you a car, and you know that she doesn't have any stable job. A lot of parents will not ask her, where did you get the money to buy this car for me?
So there is gradual breaking.
Yes.
There's gradual loosening or breaking down of family values.
Family values.
Because I remember those days in our house, if you come into our house with anything that does not belong to the house, my father sees you, you're in trouble. You must explain how that's in fact, even somebody dashes you can hardly accept it today because you don't know what his reaction will be. So now, why are parents now accepting anything without considering who has brought that? Where is it? Did it come from a legal source? Well, I mean, it is terrible what is happening. Yeah, while we ponder on this, let's take a little break. Let's have some music interlude. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that piece of music. If you are just joining us, we are still in this year regular tonic, Thursday tonic, insightful living. And before we go further, let me come back to Adeshua as a psychologist in the studio. I do know that there are some people, ladies, gentlemen, who have very wretched background in terms of economic background, but they're strong, very strong. They don't take nonsense. They don't take, you have their billions, you talk to the lady, she doesn't give a damn. She goes her way, carries herself with such level of respect that when you discover about her background, you can reconcile her conduct in terms of integrity, good self-courage, and so on, with her, economic background. What do you say about such ladies?
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Yes, there are ladies like that, and also men that are also like that. And one key thing I think that influences that behavior, that brings it out, is upbringing. I think when parents are able to inculcate good moral values in their children, and not just tell them about these good moral values, but live out those values, these children begin to see themselves as responsible people, people with integrity. So when you build such personality in your children, when you train them in such a way that they hold themselves in high regard and know that they have a better future, despite their wretched past or their wretched upbringing, it gives them that sense that the future will surely be great for them if they're able to work hard. So you have to inculcate that value of working hard, that a hard work pays. And also the value of their self-esteem, you build it up, that they are worth something, not based on what someone gives to them, but who they are, that intrinsic value in themselves, that they are worthy, they are worth more than gold, their price is more than money. When you are able to inculcate that into a person, a child, as the person is growing up, even as an adult, you can begin to reorientate these young people, men and women, to know their value as human beings. I know some ladies who come from wretched background, but they went out and learned skills and are currently undergraduates in this university and are using those skills to train themselves through school. And when they tell you their stories, you know they come from poverty, serious poverty, but they don't look at the wealth of others. They don't envy them. They don't, although they want to be great, they don't want to be great by destroying their own futures. So these are the things we have to inculcate in our young people, in our young men and women, that their value is worth more than gold, worth more than money. Their lives, their futures, their destinies are of such value that they shouldn't trade it on the altar of just wealth that can disappear in a night. So this is it, Prof. This is what
Wonderful. Did I hear you say core value, the parents inculcating in the children core moral values that can support their self-esteem? Did I hear you say that?
Yes, Prof.
Wonderful. You listener out there, did you hear what she said? You need, especially parents, you need to start early to build the self-concept of your word. Let your word have a sense of value about himself or herself, so that as this child grows, that sense of value will remain intact and will act as a reference point towards whatever it is that comes his or her way. Because without a reference point, without a self-esteem that is really worth it, where the individual feels he or she is something and not cornered or valued or traded with, or I don't know, somebody, brings small notes and then the person is already, intimidated. Eko, what do you think about this idea of parents, the need for them to inculcate the right value, moral value, promotion of, good self-concept in their words, so that when they grow, they become more responsible people who can choose their path properly and not just to, do things because of money.
Others. Even the Bible says that if you train up a child in the way he should go, that when he grows, he will not depart from it. That's one. I also want to talk about this. You might not be able to choose your background, but you choose whether you stay on the ground or not. Now, that simply means that one, as a parent, you have the core responsibility to inculcate those values in your child right from childhood. Remember that whatever you train your child with right from childhood grows up with the child. That particular mindset is something that will be very difficult to change, even as an adult or as a young person, because the child has already grown up with that. That is the spirit of contentment. I think the issue now is people are not contented with whatever it is that they have. That's why they want more. And because they want more in a wrong way, they indulge in wrong things. And I talked about being born in a background, but staying on the ground is a choice. That means that no matter how you were born, even if you were born poor, remaining poor is not a choice. So if you are born poor in a poor background, you decide whether you remain poor or not. And you can also engage in things that are worthwhile, things that are legal. There are skilled jobs you can do. They'll make money. They might not give you all the money you want at that point in time, but consistency and dedication can get you there. It's a matter of time. Consistency and dedication. And one thing I found out is there's also this get rich quick syndrome or get quick rich or anyone. But the bottom line is people want to get money that they didn't work for.
Terrible. They want to eat where they did not sow.
Definitely. They want to get fast money. They want to. They are seeing people living the fast life, driving flashy
And they
cars
end in a fast way.
in fast way, and they end in fast way. So they want the fast money. They've forgotten that if money that you make without having a core foundation or core values on making that money will disappear.
What comes around goes
Definitely
around.
goes around. So
Wonderful.
that's just the thing.
You see, I hope those of you who are listening to us, you are taking notes. Let's go back to this idea of inculcating the right values in the children, particularly when they're young, and building their self-esteem. Let's be more concrete about this. I do know that some parents in their homes, when their words, do something, they appreciate those words, they make them feel big, they make them have a sense of fulfillment and so on. But there are some parents, a child makes just one error. He calls this child all manner of bad names. You big head, you coconut head, you empty head, you this, you that. How do we bring this, Adeshua, please, now as a psychologist, how do we bring this type of attitude with respect to developing the proper self-esteem or self-concept of the growing child? Please help us in this direction.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. I think one thing we need to do is to find ways to educate parents on how to train up their children the right way. A lot of parents, I would say, stumble on parenting, and most of the time they end up transferring to the next generation what they got from the former generation. Perhaps they will say, this is the way my father did it. This is the way my mother did it. So I will do the same thing. Because you cannot give what you don't have. So if they are not well trained or taught the right way to bring up these children who are very easily influenced at that age by what they hear, by what they see, they will end up finding out that these children will go the wrong way. So we have to reorientate parents. And this program is doing that right now, letting the parents know that these children need to be taught those values right from a young age, which will guide them, even as young people and adults, to direct their path so that they don't end up in the wrong hands or going into the wrong things that would destroy their futures. Because we all know that children are born with a lot of talents and great destinies. But sometimes, due to wrong training or upbringing and even wrong pair relations, they go astray. There is a student now that we are having such issues with in the department or in the university, that we know that the child was exposed to a lot of dangerous drug habits of the father, and this influenced the child, and is still influencing the child now, even as the person is in school. So when we see such a thing, and the parents did not even take into account that this was what they did when the child was growing up, and when we raise it up with the parents, they say, oh, they didn't even think it will have an effect on the child.
Oh.
So you can imagine
Terrible.
that what they did when they were younger, when the child was growing up, they did not know it will result in the child developing such problems as an adult.
Wonderful. Parents, I hope you are listening to us. Whether you are already a parent or a potential parent, please take notes. Make notes from our discussion. What have we gathered so far? The need to be exemplary, that children watch and do more of what you do than what you say. That's what I can derive from what she said. They do more of what you do than what you say. And then the idea of building the self-concept of the child. Please, let's not call our children bad names. Let's not shout on them. Let's find a way to explain to them. They are growing, their brains are open and taping and recording for future use. Let's appreciate our children when they do what is right. When they do what is not correct, bring them together, explain to them. Every child learns. No child is too young to learn. But most parents often displace aggression on their children. One day I was coming from a morning exercise, and I saw a woman, she dropped off her daughter. She was beating this girl, probably 7 years, 8 years. I don't know the age of this child. And the thing drew my attention. I asked the woman, The woman said, see, she's drinking her break, she's taking her, one juice, I don't know the name, but she's drinking the juice instead of waiting till break time. I said, is that all why you're beating her in this manner? This is a child. You would have probably, maybe she's hungry or something, would have found some other better way or ways of addressing her than this type of beating. And you are leaving her for her place of work. This woman was hurrying. She was going late to work. And you can imagine how that sense of lateness translated to aggression on the child. Very disproportionate beating. If she must beat the child, not in that manner. So we're encouraging you, our listener out there, please remember the child needs to be brought up in the right way so that when he or she grows, she will do the right things, including proper attitude to dating. Proper attitude to what? Dating. Echo, is there anything you want to tell our listener before we draw the curtain?
Yes, I just want to wrap it up by saying, first, parents should do their jobs as parents. They are parents for a reason. So you should train your child in the way he or she should go. It's very, very key, very fundamental. That's one. Two is, as young people, as individuals, let us learn to be content, whatever it is that God has provided us with, knowing fully well that the condition can change. No condition, like they say, is permanent. So if you don't have enough today, you can have enough tomorrow. What you need to do is put God first and work hard and smart, as the case may be. And also to our young girls and our guys too. This get rich quick syndrome is making people, die very fast. And the thing about it is, it seems nice at the first instance, but then when you get it, you see that it is problematic. So my advice is stay off that. It's very important. And lastly, for those who are involved in, dating without or living couples rather, or living lovers, as the case may be, because they're not couples, but they're doing what couples are doing. You need to ensure that you do things the right way. There's nothing better than doing things the right way.
Wonderful. And you heard what he said about those people who are living together who are not married. Remember, whatever you do in this life, you must pay for it. Every action has a reaction. Every work has a reward. You will take the result of your action. If you keep behaving as if you are married when you are not married, maybe when you are married, you have other challenges. I don't know. I'm not a prophet. Adesha, what do you want to tell our listeners who draw the curtain?
Okay, just to add to what you've said, I think there was a research that was done in the US, and they found out that couples who lived together before they even get married even had higher rates of divorce than couples who did not before marriage. So what Prof said, he might not be a prophet, but he may have hit on something that has already been researched on, that this has implications for the future. That is, even negative implications. And to conclude on this our topic, I want to encourage our parents that we know they are trying. We want them to do more for these kids, especially in building in them the right self-concept of their value, that they are valuable and they are loved. Because many children, even young people, lack that sense of love, unconditional love. Then another thing is also to encourage the young people that they should value themselves and know that if they work hard and smart and are dedicated to whatever their hands can find to do, and they do it well, they will surely make it in life. It may not be instant, because I know a lot of this our generation, they love instant gratification. But even though it does not come immediately, they should know that good things take time. So they should grow their wealth gradually, and they will live to enjoy it by hopefully. Then we also want to encourage those who are in dating relationships that they should do it the right way.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. On this note, I want to thank all of you for being with us, and we hope to bring to you another edition of this Thursday Tonic Insightful Living. Thank you and goodbye.